Welcome back to the channel guys, and in today's video we are going to feature a very interesting team, and the team consists of Bastiodon, Shadow Machamp and Medicham. So this team is another version of the GRASSHOLE team, and I think this is indeed a very interesting and very strong team because not only me, a couple of friends have used this team and they have had some really good matches with it. So I think that it's really good, and it's not only tap tap tap. So yeah, definitely it has proven its mettle, and I really was able to gain some points with it, and I am now beyond 2300. So that's really this team really helped me get that. And before we move on to the team composition, if you are new to the channel and if you like our content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to join the Battlestate Discord server, the link to that is in the description down below. So let's move on to the team composition, and the team which we are using today, as I mentioned, is Bastiodon, Shadow Machamp and Medicham. So the Medicham which we are using is an XL version. It's powered up to level 43. So I think once I have enough candies to power it up to all the way to level 50, it will be much better than the current version. And I'm naming this team as PUNCHOLE team. So I'm not really sure that whether it's a good name, but yeah, that's what I feel like is a good name for this one. And running pretty standard movesets on Bastiodon as well as Shadow Machamp, and we are running Power Up Punch instead of Ice Punch because if the Power Up Punch is boosted, then it can really damage those Azumarills, and Azumarill is definitely a problem for this team. But overall, I think as a team, this group performs really well. And in the PvP rating, considering that we are using double fighters, the coverage is rated obviously as C, but the team is pretty bulky, and as I said that the Medicham, if powered up all the way to level 50, it will be unstoppable. So yeah, safety is also rated as C, but I mean that's because of we are using double fighters or double typing in a single team. And and yep, so that's about the team composition. And so the sets which we are featuring today is one 5 and 0, and the other one is 2 and 3. So you will see the losses which were there were pretty close, and one of the losses was there by with due to basically that was my mistake. So without further delays, let's move on to the battles to see how the battle goes. So picking up a very favorable lead in here in the form of this Galvantula and expecting them to swap immediately, and they come in with Empoleon, so that's really good for us because Medicham will just go to town with those counters, and especially since we have a power up punch, we will be able to boost the attack as well. Fortunately, the Empoleon is not able to reach another Drill Peck. I think Drill Peck would have bring us very low but not still KO'd. So in comes Galvantula again, and we will be able to pressure some shields here, but the opponent is not shielding, which is not really good for us. So not expecting Galvantula to shield, especially since they know that we have a power up punch. But the damage from the counters and power up punch has begun to add up, and the Galvantula is already in yellow. So not shielding anything now, expecting them to swap again when the Bastiodon comes in. So they immediately make a swap to Hypno, which is not really good for us. And going for cross shove there, I think we would have reached a rock slide, but it doesn't matter because Hypno shields. And since we were able to brought down the Galvantula very low, and this was too early to be a focus blast, I let go of the charge move. And Shadow Ball does like Bastiodon is very bulky Pokemon, so Shadow Ball does like barely no damage. And yeah, Hypno shields the Stone Edge, which is really good. And I was expecting a bait here, and they went with the bait with the Thunder Punch. But I think even Shadow Ball would not have done a lot of damage to us. And Stone Edge knocks out the Hypno, and this Galvantula will just be crushed under the rocks. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, picking up a very favorable lead in the form of this Shadow Dragonite. So the opponent swaps to Azumarill, and I made the swap to Machamp here because Machamp will take a lot of damage from those Dragon Breaths, whereas our counters would be resisted. And so since Machamp especially had a very terrible matchup against the Dragonite, I went for the Machamp there. Unfortunately, they shielded the I think they shielded the cross shop, right? They fell for the bait. Yeah, they fell for the bait, so that's really good for us because now Rock Slide will do a lot of damage. And herein, all we need to do is probably win the probably win the switch advantage. And since I'm going for the cross shop, I think I am planning to letting go of the Machamp. So switching aggressively to Medicham here because Medicham with energy advantage can pressure that Dragonite. So going for Power Punch, this will not do any damage to the Dragonite. And since they have swapped out of that match, we can come in with Bastiodon and completely farm down this Dragonite because even Hurricane would have been resisted, but it was too soon to be won. So we will be able to completely farm down this Dragonite, which is really good. So even if Azu comes in now, we will be able to Stone Edge it down, but in comes Bastiodon. So that's, I think this is pretty neutral because we had energy advantage, but this Bastiodon was at full health. So that's why, yeah, that's why we are still, the matchup is still on, it's not one-sided. So coming in with Machamp, we did a lot of damage to that Bastiodon. So this cross shove will, I think, will be able to knock out the Azumarill at that range. And before we go down, we will be able to bring the Bastiodon to very low. And Bastiodon mirror is very tiring. I think it's next to the Bronzor mirror match from the Little Cup. So this flamethrower will not be able to knock us out. We will be able to survive, and Smackdown will be able to take out the opponent's Bastiodon. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one. So this is not a very good lead for us, and I immediately swapped to Medicham, and this draws out their flyer, which is really good because the counter damage from the power up punch, boosted power up from the boost of the power up punch will eventually start to add up. And herein, what all we need to do is probably win this matchup, because that way we will be able to align the Shadow Machamp with that Obstagoon, which will basically be an obliteration of that Obstagoon now. And since the opponent shielded the power up punch, we will be able to counter down this Skarmory, which is really good because we were able to waste the opponent's shields. And in comes Obstagoon, which is taking a lot of damage from those power up punch and counters. And in comes Stunfisk. So I think the Stunfisk is going to run away when it sees the Shadow Machamp. So yeah, double fighter strat is picking up really well. Moving on to the next one, again picking up a very good lead here and expecting Altaria to swap, and they come in with Politoed. So I was like in two minds on what to go in with, because Politoed with the Wither Ball has become pretty spammy, and so I decided to come in with Medicham, because Medicham is a very bulky Pokemon, and although this is a surf version of Politoed, so that's not as spammy as the Wither Ball, so I definitely would want to shield this one. And since this Medicham is already boosted, I was ready to. The counter damage is really added up, and if the opponent lets go of the Power Punch, I think Politoed will go down. And we are double boosted now, and this Altaria will come in. So going for a Power Punch, maybe they expect that we have Ice Punch, which is really good, especially since they're shielded. So we were able to grab shield off the Power Punch, which was really good, and we will be able to wall this Altaria. So they went for Dragon Pulse, which did almost no damage to us. So going for Stone Edge, this will knock out the Altaria, and let's see what they come. Or was that the last Pokemon, or they quit the game? I think they left the game. So yeah, good game. Picking up another good lead. So in this set, I picked up really favorable leads, to be honest. And so Abomasnow comes in, so we will be able to resist everything that Abomasnow throws at us. Or the Energy Ball would be neutral, right? Because steel typing, because of rock and steel typing, I think. So I aggressively swap to Shadow Machamp, and we are able to get rid of the Abomasnow, which is really good because now comes Swampert. So Swampert cannot much shot us down, and we will be able to do a lot of damage with those counters and cross chop if they are not willing to throw. So they double shield the Swampert and are able to farm us down. But now we can come in with Medicham basically to delete that Bastiodon comes in. So we will be able to boost our attack with those power up punches. And by the time Swampert comes in, I think it will be game over. So yeah, opponent realizes and quit. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, in an Azu lead. So this lead is not favorable for us, but most of the Azus nowadays are running Ice Beam and Play Rough. So that Ice Beam and Play Rough Azu is not as bad as the Hydro Pump version, because Stone Edge is doing reasonable amount of damage. So I stay in this matchup, and looks like this Azu is indeed Ice Beam Play Rough. So I think we simultaneously swapped, but they come in with Skarmory. So Machamp matchup against Skarmory is pretty decent, but I opt to keep the shield advantage rather than the switch. I think probably I should have kept the I should have shielded and bring down Skarmory very low, but my intention there was to farm a lot of energy off that Skarmory. But they had Flash Cannon, which was really bad for us, because Flash Cannon did a reasonable amount of damage to us, and it brought us very low. So probably that was the mistake right there from my side. I should have nobody can anticipate anticipate a flash cannon, but in comes Toxicroak, so I immediately swap to my Medicham, and both of us we are doing resisted damage with those counters, but since Toxicroak is very frail, our counter damage is getting added up. So I shield the Mud Bomb here, which is not really good. I was expecting them to throw a Sludge Bomb, and Toxicroak wins a CMP against us. So this is this is not really looking good. And again, they forced a CMP, which forces us to throw our energy. But yeah, I think we need to land a Psychic here in order to win. But since I was anticipating a shield at the Azumarill's end, I went for a Para Punch. Let's see if the Azu shields. So the Azu shields, which is really good. Now we just need to reach a Psychic, but I figured that I was not going to reach it, so I went for Para Punch. But Azu is so bulky, it takes us. So I tried to sack swap there, but Bastiodon got immediately deleted. So we will take a loss on that one, and I think if we waited to go for Psychic, we might have, but yeah, going for that loss. So picking up very bad lead there, and I swap to Shadow Machamp, and in comes Alolan Marowak. So Alolan Marowak definitely would want to shield the Rock Slide because it will take super effective damage from it. So I shield the Shadow Bone correctly, and due to this I will be able to reach a Rock Slide here. So the opponent will double shield, which is fine with me because now I can come in with Bastiodon and look to completely farm down this Alolan Marowak. And since Sirfetch'd is a very squishy Pokemon, we will be able to but the opponent eventually ends making a swap to the Sirfetch'd, which is really good because now I can pair my Medicham up against that Sirfetch'd, and I don't think that a boost will be able to save them because the counter damage will eventually add up. So definitely would want to shield a Night Slash because this boost would have probably KO'd us at that range, but we are able to farm down the Sirfetch'd completely, which is really good for us because now comes Lapras, and since we are double boosted, we will be able to do a massive amount of damage with that Psychic. And I think the opponent tried to not sure what the opponent tried to do. Maybe they tried to KO us with the Shadow Bone, but Bastiodon is a very bulky Pokemon. But our defense fell, so not really looking good. But we will be double resisting those Ice type Ice Shards, and Smackdown knocked out the Lapras. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Bastiodon mirror, and this is a very interesting game because I think this is the GRASSHOLE line. So in comes Tropius, and I think this is probably where the Ice Punch would have come in handy. So it's a Razor Leaf version, so it's doing a lot of damage to us. And I think I don't shield here. Yeah, I don't shield here because I was not expecting them to. Yeah, I probably should have shielded just to get that match with that Bastiodon, because Shadow Machamp would have been able to just knock the Besiegers out of that opponent's Bastiodon. So since we lost the switch advantage there, I aggressively made the swap to Machamp just to get ahead on energy. So in comes the Shadow Victreebel, and we will be able to, even though we grab the shield, the Razor Leaf damage is just so insane, we will not be able to get to another charge move. So yeah, definitely I made a horrible mistake there, and since it was a CMP tie, I would need to throw this Smackdown, and yeah, basically we used up our shield, so our shield advantage is basically gone, and our Bastiodon is now low enough that we don't have any play up against this Bastiodon. And had we shielded our Medicham there, maybe we could have either pressured the last shield of the opponent, or we could have taken that matchup. So definitely a misplay from my side, and yeah, I could have possibly flipped that GRASSHOLE matchup, and yeah, PUNCHOLE would have knocked out the GRASSHOLE. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, we were in a Ferrothorn match, so I aggressively swapped to Machamp just to draw out their flyer, and since their flyer is out, I think we will be able to if we are able to win this matchup, I think we will be able to align our Medicham up against that Ferrothorn. Unfortunately, the Skarmory barely survives, and we are upper shield, so that's really good for us because now I can come in with Bastiodon, absorb any damage coming in from this Skarmory, and Skarmory will go down, and anticipating Ferrothorn to come back in. So it's an Azu, which is really good because now even though they have swapped to Ferrothorn, I'm not sure why. Yeah, I think switching to Ferrothorn might have looked the better idea at that stage, because you definitely would want to keep Azu against the Bastiodon, but we are so boosted at this point of time, the Azumarill will just be a sitting duck, especially with two shields up. So yeah, good game. moving on to the next match in a Shadow Victreebel matchup, which is really good because Bastiodon will do a lot of damage with those stone smackdowns. So in comes Medicham, and I again made a mistake there of coming in with Machamp. Yeah, this was probably a mistake which would cost me the match, because I should have come in with Medicham there, but I misclicked, and the opponent is able to bait us with an Ice Punch, which is not really good. So going for a Psychic here, and the opponent shields the Psychic correctly, which is, yeah, this is not looking good for us. I think we will take a loss on this one. So the opponent goes for Psychic, and this almost knocks us out. So we are going for a Power Up Punch, and I think this will grab the shield of the opponent, especially since they know that we have a Bastiodon in the back. So we are going for Stone Edge, and I think the Stone Edge connected, but that was just a visual glitch. So in comes Altaria, but we are very low, so that yeah, we cannot do up against anything this Altaria, because that Medicham will come in and just delete us. So that's why I had to farm up to 2 Stone Edges. So going for this Stone Edge, and this will knock out the Altaria, and the yeah, at this point basically the game is wrapped up. So yeah, good game, taking a loss on that one. And definitely coming in with Machamp costed me that match, and yeah, I think even the losses were pretty close. They were, yeah, I potentially could have played better to get a win on that. And yes, I think this team is pretty strong, and if you happen to try this PUNCHOLE team, do let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.